All right, what's going on, everybody? Y'all know what it is. This is your weekly tech and AI news with myself and my incredible co-host Ash, who is our AI generalist as well as AI founder, as well as like with wearable technology and wearable AI. So if you are new here, if it's your first time, I'm Cyrus, the founder of Tech is the New Black. We are one of the largest platforms in the world when it comes to educating on tech careers, helping people get tech careers, as well as promoting different various types of tech businesses. And going to go ahead and pass it over to my co-host Ash really quickly.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, everyone. My name is Ash, and my specialty is an AI solutions architect with a particular focus on generative AI. So I really am able to bring maximum ROI, that return on investment, for both business owners and creators. So excited to get started and discussing the latest innovations in tech and AI today.
And good stuff, y'all. So we got some incredible news to cover today. We're going to be talking about the update when it comes to the tech industry and the tech market. Talking about things that are happening when it comes to Apple and ChatGPT, OpenAI, as well as OpenAI, which is the founder of ChatGPT. They just closed out their round of funding, which is the largest round of funding in history. We're going to talk about a couple other things, some other innovations, but just to kind of highlight things really quickly for those of y'all that are interested in getting a career in the tech industry. Just go down at the description below and you will actually see a link that's there that's specific to Ash. With that link, you'll be able to get a discount to the boot camp. If you qualify for the boot camp, you'll be able to get a discount with getting access to the boot camp. But for those of y'all, whether you're a business owner or you're already in the tech industry and you're just trying to figure out the latest and greatest technology and AI to use to automate some of your job or automate your business, there's also a link down below for you to be able to schedule with Ash. Again, she is an AI generalist, so she'll be able to talk to you about your business or even your tech career to help you use some tools that can help automate some of your work, so that way you can achieve that real work-life balance that most people want. That being said, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get into the news. I see Ahmed just jumped in here. Ahmed is one of the co-founders of, gosh, why in the world? That's so crazy. Why am I drawing a blank right now? That's so weird. I swear I know the business. I say the business name all the time. I feel so crazy and so embarrassed. I'm even having this brain fart right now. Ahmed is going to come to me. My brain is tripping right now. Ahmed is the co-founder of RightSeed. Why in the world did I have that brain freeze? Ahmed is the co-founder of RightSeed, an amazing AI solution. They're doing some huge things. They were recently featured earlier this year in Yahoo Finance, which is major. They're only a few years old, but they've been making some huge waves and changes, as well as a lot of other accomplishments that they've been achieving. They've already gotten like a really large round of funding, I believe a year or 2 years ago. Overall, just really dope technology. Their actual chief marketing officer was one of the guests on our Tech is the New Black podcast. So y'all definitely check that out because it's an amazing episode where you learn a lot about marketing as well as AI and some of the tools that even they have with RightSeed. That being said, let's go ahead and get into this week's view of what's been happening this week with tech and AI. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and we're gonna jump into it. That is not the button to share the screen. This is the button to share the screen. All right, y'all. So the first piece of news we got to go ahead and talk about. Let me go ahead and switch this around. All right, so the first piece of news that we got to talk about, y'all already see it. Tech hiring might finally be bouncing back. So this news is reported from Lead Dev, but there's a lot of other platforms that have been talking about this as well. So there are signs of a stabilization in the tech hiring market. So as we all know, 2022 and 2023 was no good, terrible year for the tech sector. Layoffs totaled nearly 250,000 across the entire industry. Interest rates soared and the companies corrected. They were correcting for the post-pandemic over exuberance or over hiring. So this year has scarcely started better, with worries about the impact of worries about the impact that generative AI will have on software developer roles, only adding to the sense of foreboding many engineers were starting to feel. But there are signs of green shoots and reasons to be cautiously optimistic that the bleeding has stopped. So the reasons to be happy that they have listed: in August 2024, UBS analysis of job listings at Google, Amazon, and Meta found that while listings for technical roles were down from 2022, job postings had increased year on year. Had we hit the bottom? Well, the listings at Alphabet have climbed above 2018 levels with UBS when UBS started tracking its data. And while technical job posting at Amazon and Meta remained lower than 2018 levels and are down from the same mid-22 peaks, they are up from the low ebbs of listing in the spring and summer of 2023. So we can dive into this further. I encourage y'all to read the rest of this article and others. But simply put, the market is getting better. Literally, if y'all go back, I actually have a platform. If anybody wants it, there's a link that has a platform where you can actually track what the tech job market has looked like year after year. 2021 and 2022, early 2022 was the best time to get in the tech industry. The mid 2022 towards the end of 2022 was the worst time to get in the industry. 2023, a lot of people don't know this, wasn't as bad as 2022. 2023, things were starting to get better, but there were still a lot of layoffs that were happening as well. And this year has been better than 2022 and 2023. So it seems to a lot of people, the last couple of years, people have been talking about the market like, oh, the tech job market is going down. But it's actually the opposite that's been happening. There was like a huge overcorrection that happened in early 2022 or mid 2022. The correction was continuing, but then it started to shift around 2023 to where a lot of the companies started realizing, okay, maybe we did overcorrect with all of the layoffs that we were doing. So now the market is getting back to a point to where, again, it's not going to be how it is in 2021. It might never be how it was in 2021. But the market is definitely back at a place to where it's better than it's better than it was before 2021, and it's definitely better than it's been since the end of 2022. So again, 2021 to early 2022 was a really hot market, a crazy hot market, never seen before. But now the market is back good again, not great, but good again like it was before. And so this is a really incredible thing to see. Want to know from y'all in the comments, as well as, of course, from Ash. Ash, I'll ask you first where everybody else is kind of getting their comments and stuff together. Ash, what do you think about this with the tech job market bouncing back?
Yeah, I mean, we love to see it. And I think that the bottom line is always going to be supply and demand, baby. So as long as the supply for high impact, high skill tech roles is going to be out there, then of course the demand is going to have to meet that. So we know that technology is evolving at an ever accelerating rate. And so we're going to need skilled professionals that are going to be able to really keep up with that pace. And so we love to see it. And, I think that it's definitely a positive as far as our economy goes, since we can continually grow it and hopefully create and build a better, brighter world and future where everyone is able to actually contribute.
Yeah, big facts, big facts. Checking out some of the comments. What's up, Woo TV? Woo TV is here in the cut. Amit, a co-founder of Rightsy, he says, bro, this is an amazing topic to talk about. So look, y'all, this is incredible, really incredible. Definitely want to know some more feedback from you all, what you all think. There's a couple things to highlight. One thing is to notice how the main people who took a hit during the layoffs, and even still the people that are still a bit cautious, are people that are solely software engineers. Now, the reason why I say solely is because being a software engineer, especially because of AI, it is a role. It's probably the number one role in the tech industry that is a bit kind of questionable in terms of its near future. But for those of you that are software engineers, literally my suggestion would just be for you to add on those AI skills. So whether you tap in with someone like Ash, where she's able to teach you how to leverage these different AI solutions so you can implement that within your role. Or like one of the things that we have, of course, within our fully comprehensive QA program, our program teaches you, yes, where you learn how to do software engineering, but specifically for QA. Specifically things like AI automation, QA automation, QA engineering, and others that are looping in with some different AI trainings as well. So the name of the game, whether you're a software engineer, whether you're in tech sales, the name of the game today is leveraging AI. That will keep you ahead of the market, y'all. So right now, software engineers are still in a risky position. The rest of the market is starting to do good and great. But again, no matter what career you're in, the name of the game is to leverage what's happening with artificial intelligence. Another piece to highlight. Now, I want to say this so we can be cautious, because it's all about us being cautious. As much as it's great for us to talk about, the hiring that's happening with Amazon and Microsoft and all these other companies, I've said it before and I will say it again. Larger tech companies doing mass layoffs is not a sign of the entire market, because mid-sized tech companies, large tech companies, and startups, they could still be hiring. It's just the news likes to highlight these behemoth tech companies. So because it's popular, like the news doesn't want to talk about a no-name tech company, even if that no-name tech company has 10 or 15,000 employees. If that company is doing mass hiring, the news isn't going to talk about that. But the news will talk about if Amazon lays off 1,000 people, even if this other tech company is hiring 10,000 people. So I always say, one, do not put your focus when it comes to even working in tech. Do not put your focus on working at big tech companies, because it's almost just as competitive as getting at a big tech company as it is in getting in the NBA. So it's like, you don't want to do that. You can make just as much money, if not more money, have better stock option opportunity, and many times even just better freedom in general in your life working at a non-behemoth of a tech company or a non-unicorn. So, but I will say on the reverse, that seeing that these larger tech companies are hiring a lot, that is a good sign that the rest of the industry is hiring as well. Because the larger tech companies tend to be the ones that they do the majority of the layoffs, because they have so much appeasement and things to do when it comes to their investors, when it comes to their year-to-date earnings, all of that stuff. But that being said, definitely want to hear from the rest of y'all in the comments. Even if you're not here live in the stream, we want to definitely check back later on and see the comments the rest of you all are leaving. What do y'all think? How do y'all feel about this? About the tech job market bouncing back? Is this something to be excited about? Do you think that this is a fluke and the news is going to change in the next 2 months? I don't know. Let's definitely talk about it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Ash and hear about some of the AI news that she has to talk about.
Yeah, okay. Well, definitely exciting and positive news to know that the tech industry is bouncing back with jobs. And so, without further ado, you guys, we're going to be getting into the latest topics for the AI and tech innovation. So, here it goes. Okay. All right. So we're starting off with just a brief overview, okay? We're going to be covering how Apple's global generative AI expansion is changing everything. Also, we're tapping into Google's initiative to flag AI-generated images. We're getting into some robotic innovations, and so literally robotic muscles, which is very interesting. Also covering how AI is revolutionizing the healthcare industry. And last but not least, of course, covering the governmental legislation. So you guys are holistically getting updated on the latest tech news. So first, to start off, we're looking at Apple's global generative AI expansion. As you guys can see here, okay, Alexa, that's of course Amazon's platform, is being kicked to the side road, and Apple is ready to dominate. So how is it going to do that? So essentially, Apple is really bringing new innovations such as Genmojis. So you can literally create your own avatars and emojis for different interactive experiences, but that's not only it. So Apple Intelligence is changing everything, and Hollywood itself is really, keeping an eye on it, because they're really concerned, of course, about generative AI's applications, because it's going to be taking a lot of people's jobs, especially actors and actresses. And so they're really looking to kind of prohibit and limit these AI created scripts. Are they limiting creativity? We're going to have to see. But without further ado, let's get into it and touch on just this last statement by Tim Cook, of course, Apple CEO. He said, "We're thrilled to introduce a new chapter of Apple innovation. Apple Intelligence will transform what users can do with our products and what our products can do for our users." So here's how they're going to do that. So first and foremost, we can see here to the left that with great power comes great responsibility. So they are trying to remain at the forefront of really protecting users' data. We're going to hope for the best with that. But to the right, you can also see that they're implementing ChatGPT into Apple phones. So we're going to really have immersive experiences being directly connected with technology. But at the forefront of that, and the first priority, of course, is going to be just making sure that our rights are protected. So I threw in a bit of Genmojis, as you can see, with the alien with the French hat and the little balloon here, but there's so many limitless possibilities of that. So essentially, to summarize, AI is expanding its generative AI suite. Apple Intelligence is targeting to expand it globally by 2025, you guys. So it's coming up next year. So and we're really starting with localizing English support. So it's going to start here in the US, but it does encapsulate and include tasks like text generation. So it's going to be able to summarize and maximize prompts, image generation with those Genmojis, and notification summarization. And last but not least, also cloud-based models. So this is going to be with the latest Apple innovation of the iOS 18. So if you're purchasing the latest phone, then these are the features that you can expect. So we also want to cover the business benefits, right, for those business owners out there and creators. So what you can expect is being able to leverage Apple's generative AI to streamline all internal communication. Also, automating content creation and enhancing user experiences. So this is going to contribute to maximizing your bottom line. And so we're really enhancing creativity. AI is not taking away your creative process. It's going to make it a lot better, a lot easier, and a lot faster. And so we have to conclude with a few questions. You guys feel free to really drop off your opinions in the chat here. But let's say if we could ask you a question, how could your business benefit from AI generated content automation? Start to think about that. And also, what opportunities do you see to use and leverage AI in personalized customer interactions or notifications? So automation is the name of the game. And so if you're not using AI, then you're going to be behind as a creator or a business owner. So start to think ahead and start to really understand these technologies that are coming out. So you're going to be first in line and you're going to be winning in this AI revolution. So with that, we are going to be getting into some really other exciting topics, but I appreciate your engagement here. So Ty says, very nice. Austin says, nice. Hey, nice, nice, nice. We love that. So yeah.
I'm not gonna going to your question that you had in here in terms of how we're going to use it. I'm not going to lie. I am very quickly and very soon going to use some of this technology to do some of my content for me. I tell y'all, like as a influencer, which is weird. I feel like you automatically get labeled an influencer if you're semi-consistent making content, and if people like the content, automatically you're an influencer. But anyway, as a content creator, influencer, whatever, I get burnout. Like, y'all let me know in the comments whether or not you consider yourself an influencer despite your social media following. Like, does anybody else get burnout sometimes where you feel obligated to post on social media, but you just are like, man, I'm actually just really tired. I'm just exhausted to post. I'm exhausted with creating content. So this is going to be huge, being able to clone yourself, which these are conversations. One of my colleagues hit me up at the beginning of the summer. He hit me up about this. He wanted to show me how to clone myself digitally. And even Ash, like even we spoke about it, where you talked about how you can show people how to like clone themselves to like help content creation. So now we're seeing a lot of these tech companies. I know Meta announced it recently, like to where, man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm happy about this stuff because I'm like, man, because it's like y'all let me know, like whether you're a business owner, whether you're an influencer, either way, it's like the name of the game today is that you have to create some form of content to market. And it's like sometimes if you like, for instance, Rightsea doesn't have this problem. I'm gonna give Rightsea their flowers. Rightsea has a chief marketing officer. Like, he is amazing at marketing. So they, as a business, as a whole business, don't have to really stress about their marketing side because they have a person that's over marketing. Versus tech is the new black. I am the marketing. And so it's like, there's sometimes I'm like, yo, I just want to help people get in tech. I just want to help people get jobs. I don't want to make this content half the time. People don't realize it. People think I like love making the content. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I laugh at it. Sometimes I don't. It's like, man, this technology is going to be incredible for business owners, for those of y'all that are startup founders, and you know that you don't want to be a content creator, but then everybody tells you got to be a content creator in order to tell people about your business or about your service or your ministry, whatever it is. It's like, this is going to be a game changer. Austin continued on and said, I use AI in everything that I do. Man, you're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of the curve, bro. Yes, AI will make you a super influencer. Ooh,
I love
that's
that.
real. That's real. Yeah, D Hill Senior says it's hard to stay consistent. It really is, bro. It really is. Mr. Mr. N 1976. I like to use Hey Gen and 11 Labs for cloning. Ooh, yeah, you are on it. You are. Austin said he's building voice bots now. Yeah, y'all are on it. Hey, look, please let us know in the future how that's going. I mean, man, maybe even in the future we can like, I don't know where y'all are at, but we probably interview you on the podcast or something like that, talking about what it is you're doing. So that way we can help educate a lot of our audience. One of the things Tech is the New Black is about to do, and this kind of a heads up to everybody, we are about to actually merge with a larger community, a community of over 5,000 people. It's a community where it's a very active Discord, but even beyond that, they have recurring events every other week, like really huge, grown and sexy professional networking events. So we're collaborating with them to be like their tech career and tech education side, but they have a lot of people in their community, almost 1,000 people in their community that are already in tech, that are recruiters, and that are various roles as well. So literally, y'all are about to see a lot of elevation in terms of our connection, in terms of our events and things we're going to do. So if y'all are in or near Atlanta, Georgia, and you want to come out to the events, definitely pull up to that. Or if you just want to have more network and more connections when it comes to the tech industry and tech professionals, definitely tap in with us so that way you'll be able to join in that community. But for those of y'all that are in our community right now, you'll hear more news about that soon. For those of y'all that aren't in the community, just continue tapping into our content, and we'll have the links and things for you to even be able to join in. Again, even if you're not in Atlanta, you can still be a part of that community. It'll still be incredibly beneficial for you. But if you're in or near Georgia, it'll be really dope for you because you can always come out to the event. So anyway, yeah, y'all, that being said, again, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. This is some crazy news. One thing I want to say, Ash, that actually caught me off guard with this, or I think it's funny, when you highlighted how Apple basically it looks like they dropped Alexa AI and then they like, okay, we're Apple AI. I don't know if y'all caught that. Apple low key, Apple is like the number one company that ends their deals. They'll have a deal on the table and then they'll say, nah, we good. They do that all the time. Where the news will say, oh, Apple's about to partner. Like, I don't know if y'all remember when Apple was partnering with they were partnering with Honda to create the Apple car. And it's like, then they dropped the deal. Like, Apple partners with so many companies and just ends deals all the time. And to me, it's low-key funny. I feel like, and I could be wrong, let me know if y'all agree or disagree. I feel like Apple did this deal with Alexa just to make sure they were in the AI race. And then, but on the side, they said, hey, y'all, let's see if we could build our own stuff on the side, though. And then once they figured out they could kind of sort of build something else or just leverage ChatGPT, they say, yeah, we're going to drop y'all Alexa. So low-key, Apple is like low-key petty. They're low-key petty.
Yeah, they're not playing any games. They're not playing around for sure.
Mr. N 1976 says DC. Okay, you're in DC. Yo, shouts out to DC. DC is great. I should be in DC in December for either Thanksgiving, which is actually where I met Ahmed at, who was in the comments earlier. Ahmed, the co-founder of RightSeed. I met him in DC at Thanksgiving, which is a tech conference that happens in DC. But there's also there's two tech conferences that happen around the same time. Amazon has like this big ball that happens in DC in every December. They actually have like two major balls that happen in DC. And then they also have their December ball that happens around the same time as Thanksgiving. So if you're in DC or you're in the DMV area, y'all definitely need to make sure y'all pulling up to those different tech events because those are going to be huge and major. Huge and major.
Yeah.
All right, Ash.
Cyrus, yeah, I'm just gonna stop sharing.
Okay, cool. All right. Austin says I have a AI automation agency. Oh, that's so fire. Love that, Austin. Love that so much, man. All right, so cool. Let's go ahead and hop into the next topic. All right, y'all. And for this next topic, it's going to be kind of in the vein of some of the things we were just talking about, but slightly different. So OpenAI just closed on a $6.6 billion funding haul with investment from Microsoft and NVIDIA. Microsoft is just double and triple investing in OpenAI. They like, yeah, we're gonna keep investing in y'all. All right, so getting into this news. So on October 2nd, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, has raised $6.6 billion from investors, which could value the company at $157 billion and cement its position as one of the most valuable private companies in the world. The funding has attracted returning venture capital investors, including Thrive Capital and Khosla Ventures, as well as OpenAI's biggest corporate backer, aka they sugar daddy, Microsoft, and new participation from NVIDIA. The closing of the funds coincides with the company's ongoing restructuring efforts and executive changes, including the abrupt departure of its longtime chief technology officer, Mira Murati, last week. Sidebar, she actually just went on to create her own startup, her own AI startup. So I actually was going to talk about this last week during tech and AI news last Saturday, but we ran out of time. But just a quick heads up to y'all. All of the leadership that started OpenAI have left. All of them have left. The only person that's still there is Sam Altman. So that's kind of a sidebar thing. If any of y'all in the comments have some opinions on that, the fact that all of these people started a company together, said, we're going to do this thing. And in the span of like 3 months, all of their original executives and leaders and co-founders have all left. Not fired, they all left. And Sam Altman is the only one that's there. I don't know. That's kind of some stuff going on. But again, that's a sidebar. Anyway, y'all, them getting $6.6 billion. Definitely want to know what y'all think about that, because let's be real. That's actually the largest round of funding for a company of their age, their size in history. So they just broke a record. But y'all want to know what's actually crazy? Sam Altman, he actually originally wanted them to get, this is going to sound really crazy to y'all. He wanted them to get close to around $1 trillion in funding. Like his beliefs were so crazy. He was like, yo, I believe we should get $1 trillion. So the fact that this 6.6, they've broken every record. Because I want to put this into perspective, y'all. Because I know some of y'all are wizards. Some of y'all understand this stuff far better than I do. But there are some of y'all here that are like, yo, what does all of this mean? Think of it this way. Let's scale it down this way. Let's say you start a business, right? You start a business. You and some friends start a business, whether it's a tech business, whatever type of business it is. Y'all build the business over a couple years, 2, 3, 4 years go by. Y'all hire a few people to help build the business out. You're still technically the owner of the business, but then some investors come along and say, hey, you know what? We believe in your business so much. Now, I want y'all to peep game. Your business isn't even profitable. So think about it. Imagine you have a business that is costing you money. It's not even making you money. It's costing you money. That's ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not profitable at all. But then investors come along and say, you know what? Even though your business isn't making money, me and these other billionaires want to all come together and we want to put some money into you. We want to give you $6.6 billion for your business that is losing you money. That's literally what just happened. Because I want us to make sure we're all on the same page. Even though ChatGPT is charging, like it has like the monthly subscription, for those of y'all that have like the higher tiers or you have the access to other things, they're charging. But guess what? It costs them so much money to run this and to do this and to produce this technology. Even every time you type in an inquiry, every time let's say you ask, like I'm out here in the Dominican Republic right now. Like every time I travel to a country I've never been to or I plan to, I ask ChatGPT, what's the safest area in that country that also has the best cost of living, best expenses when it comes to groceries and food, but also has the best nightlife and most vibrant community. Like I literally ask it all of this. And I'm gonna give y'all an example one time. It's really crazy. Like, for example, I asked ChatGPT that for Colombia. The safest part of Colombia is technically Bogota, Colombia. But Bogota is a little bit more expensive. It's a lot more expensive than Cali, Colombia, a lot more expensive than Cartagena, Colombia, definitely way more expensive than Choco, Colombia, which no one talks about. Choco, Colombia is so dangerous. ChatGPT said, do not go there. You will not be safe. No one will protect you, not even the police. But ChatGPT said, but if you really, really want to go to the cheapest part, you could go there, but your life is going to be at risk. ChatGPT gave a breakdown of every major city in Colombia, and then it calculated that either Cartagena or Medellin would be the best place to go to if you're a tourist who also is not trying to like spend a lot of money. So that being said, an inquiry like that, like, hey, what's the best city to go to in Colombia for this, this, and this? That costs ChatGPT, that alone, them answering that question cost them more than my monthly subscription. So again, they're losing money, but they just got a $6.6 billion, not valuation, actual money. It's crazy, crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about this because I see y'all talking in the comments. You know, as always, want to hear from Ash. Let me look at what y'all saying in the comments real quick because y'all going in. Miguel, I am dead. Miguel said he is definitely a passport, bro. I am dead right now. Yo, I am dead. So look, y'all, believe it or not, I actually have friends, like friends from America that are in tech that live in these cities. So for example, I have friends that live in Cali, but they're not in tech, like Cali, Colombia, but they're not in tech. Like even here in the Dominican Republic, if y'all watch my story on Instagram, I was just on a podcast out here in the DR, a podcast by a tech founder. That episode is going to be coming out in a week or two. Same thing in Colombia. I was making content with people that are in Colombia. But all in all, that's hilarious though. I said that's hilarious. All right, true. Cartagena, $400 there is 1 million pesos. Yeah, it's very, very true. Now, $1 million here or in Colombia isn't the same as 1 million in the US, but it's considered $1 million. Anyway, let's get off that. That's hilarious. Woo TV says, also says my boy living life low key. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I miss the US a lot. I miss the US a lot. I was supposed to be living out here for like 6 months and I was gonna buy some property, but I'm moving back to the US. I'm still gonna buy property out here, but these places, you know, no disrespect to anybody who lives here. In my opinion, I don't understand anybody that could live here long term. I actually miss the US. This made me miss the US a lot. Now the amenities are dope. It's dope. It's modern. Everything out here is straight. It's just you low-key start to realize like you can kind of really miss the culture of the US, believe it or not. Anyway, Woo TV says, I heard that they opened a new feature called Canvas, but I ain't seen it pop up for me yet. So we're going to get to some of the other comments, but Ash, I want to know, like, with this valuation, I mean, what do you think this means like for the future of AI technology, of LLMs, of just this space in general? Like, what do you think this means? And just what, like, in terms of these numbers, I mean, all of this is just crazy. There's so many angles we could talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question, right? What does it all mean? And I think at the end, Sam Altman is really kind of the powerhouse behind all of this. And so we have to determine what is Sam Altman's goal. And his goal is to literally create AGI. He wants to be the first person to create artificial general intelligence, which is essentially conscious AI systems. And there is speculation on whether or not AGI is already here. However, the next phase of AGI is ASI, which is artificial super intelligence. So with his goal, he is a persistent guy. And so he wants to be the first to do all of that. And so what that requires is massive amounts of power. And with power, it's going to take massive amounts of profit behind it. So that's why we see all of these synergies between Microsoft, between NVIDIA, between OpenAI. It's all coming together to form a massive, powerful conglomerate of corporations. And so when we look at knowledge being powered, trend that evolving into data, but now it's compute. And so compute essentially is, in essence, the power of AI. Compute is what powers AI, artificial intelligence systems. And so there's many different ways to do that. And so I think that it's pretty clear that they are set for literally world domination. And so it's interesting to see exactly how it's evolving. But nonetheless, I think that the message for everyone here is that you are able to leverage these platforms. Okay, most of these systems are open source. They're available at least, at a small. I think that the input as far as like capital is for AI to use AI systems is even decreasing. It's like AI is depreciating itself somehow, some way. And so that means that the buy-in for all of us is massive opportunity. This is the AI revolution. It's already here. And so all of these businesses and companies, they're incorporating AI, they're leveraging it, and we can too, to dominate ourselves as individuals.
Ash, if you can explain, so I know you mentioned AGI versus ASI. Which one is technically superior? Is artificial
ASI.
intelligence?
Yeah. So there's like AGI and there's like ASI. So we know that the robots are coming. We know that conscious AI robots are becoming more conscious day to day. But like ASI, artificial super intelligence, I mean, I could define it, but I would say that at this point, we couldn't even begin to understand what ASI looks like because it's an almost omnipresent being of itself. It's an AI that can think for itself, maybe even conduct actions by itself. We know that AI robots can, for example, the NVIDIA headlines show that their robots are literally repairing other robots, creating other robots. And so, I mean, we're getting into this. It's dystopia, utopia time, you guys. But guess what? It's going to require every single one of us to really fight for a better future and world. The potential's there, but we can't let, these outdated systems or outdated mindsets transition our world into like some sort of dystopia. We can't have that, can we? So much opportunity on the table that is just to be seized. So
you know what, you saying this, it actually makes me want to change my last topic I want to talk about. There's something that I was trying to debate between topics, but that's saying is we have to talk about something that has been going on this week, but we're going to bring that up a little bit later on though. But this is incredible. This is honestly incredible. Austin says it's our time to capitalize on what is available, and those are straight up facts. Look, y'all, I'm gonna say this. This isn't gonna sound cute or politically correct. Hopefully nobody tries to clip this and cancels me or uses in the future. But as a Black man, I honestly believe in 10 or 15 years, 20 years, if the Black community is still like at the very bottom, we can't have any excuses anymore, y'all. Because at this point, it's the wild, wild west. It's like whether you're a business owner, whether you are an individual who wants to like leverage this technology and be a consultant, it's like it's just different now. It's just different with us specifically being able to leverage AI. If you are, and again, there's almost 3 different routes you can go, maybe more. Either one, you can get a tech career at a promising AI company, get equity as a part of your total compensation. So have that 6-figure salary, but leverage that equity. That equity is what'll make you a millionaire, or at least close to a millionaire, like NVIDIA. And then you take that money and use that money however you want. Or the other name of the game is you create your own tech AI startup or tech AI business, collaborating with others. Or if you're a person who you already make a lot of money already, just invest your money into a lot of these companies, into a lot of these startups. Just invest it. And it's going, like, it's no question of if these companies are going to become trillion-dollar companies. Like right now, think of it this way. Right now, if OpenAI is now, they're technically calculated as being worth about 170-something billion, 180-something billion dollars. OpenAI is going to be a trillion-dollar company. Like, let me know in the comments if anybody disagrees. They're becoming a trillion-dollar company. So they might be a trillion-dollar company in probably the next year. So if they're a 180-something billion dollar company now, we put our money into them, you put your money into them, and they become, let's say in 5 years, a $5 trillion company, which is very probable. Think of what that does to your money that you put into them. So again, the name of the game, y'all, is that when we look up 10, 15 years from now, we're not going to be able to look back and blame other people or other communities or blame ignorance, because the information is on the internet. The schools aren't teaching this. Colleges aren't teaching this because they can't keep up with the advancements. The fact that we're doing weekly tech and AI news and we don't even have enough time to cover all the news of what's happening every week. And the reason why we're doing this is to keep us up to date, because no one else is really, really keeping us up. I'm not going to say no one else is, but school system isn't. So we're getting to a point to where we're not going to be able to blame anyone else, y'all. Again, we're in such a beautiful time. So I love what Austin said. This is like honestly the greatest opportunity for us ever. Literally, the playing field has been leveled again. So I'm gonna look at a couple of these comments, and then we're gonna pass it over to the next piece of news that Ash has us going over. So, that's beautiful. I'm gonna talk on that in a minute, Austin. So Austin says, too many ways to make money now. Woo TV says, I gotta be ready for my role in this movie. I know, right?
I love that.
That's facts. Also said job stack and invest. Exactly. Like I'm gonna say this without shame, y'all. With our QA bootcamp, one of the things that I encourage is like one of the reasons why we decided to have a QA program, because there's a lot of different roles in tech that we could talk about that are really good roles in tech. One of the reasons QA was something that we wanted to highlight is because QA is one of the fastest roles in tech where you can make a lot of money because you can job stack. You can literally, and I hope nobody clips this and reshares it, whatever, but whatever. QA, you literally can get in the industry as a QA engineer or QA tester, QA analyst. You can get in the industry, and within 6 months, you can be working job stacking at 3 different companies, making $300,000 to $400,000 a year. So even if you're making $40,000 right now, in 6 months, you could be making $400,000 a year. And for anybody that's like, oh, that's cap, that's an exaggeration, that's actually from a legitimate example of somebody that I've interviewed, where they went from literally making about $30,000-$40,000 a year living in the hood, got in tech. Now it was between them and their spouse. Both of them got in tech. Both of them got 2 jobs in QA. They were working for 4 companies. They were making over $400,000 a year in just 6 months. Now they could have worked more. Like sometimes one of them will work 3 jobs. You know, sometimes they'll cut it down and just work 1 job. But either way, you legitimately by yourself, like just like Austin says, like, let me go down to something else Austin said in here. I want to highlight it because just to give an example, he also said, I used to work 5 remote jobs. Now, again, a lot of that is depending on the role that you're in and the companies that you're at. So I want to be clear. I'm not trying to paint a fairy tale and say this is the norm. But if you are strategic about the companies and the workload that's with the company and as well as the role that you're doing, just like he said, you can work 4 to 5 companies at the same time. Now, long term, you're probably not going to want to do that 2, 3, 4 years, but you can do that and make a gang of money. So these things are definitely more than possible, y'all. Anyway, Wu says that comment is hilarious. Wu. This is the best time to get involved in AI. If you don't, you'll be so far behind. Yeah, that's what's scary, y'all, is that it's not even about getting left behind. It's about getting lapped 10 times over is what's about to happen. And so that's what makes this such a beautiful time, but also a terrifying time. Yeah. Tony said it became $1 trillion company. I mean, the valuation is at 187 billion right now. Technically speaking, it's not $1 trillion company yet, but yeah, let's say in reality, like mindset wise, we could look at them as $1 trillion company already. They're going to be a part of the big 5 of the what is it called? It's not called FANG anymore. It's called MANG now. Meta, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. So I mean, OpenAI is gonna be put in there. So I don't know how they're gonna change the name in the 2 years. Maybe call it Moang or something like that. You gotta put them in there some kind of way. OpenAI, like, look, y'all gonna have to change that name up and put our first letter in there. All right, y'all. Somebody said mango. Yo, that's good.
Yeah, that's genius.
I can't even laugh. That's actually solid. I mean, you would have to add 1 extra A because remember, it'll be Meta, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, and OpenAI. Yo, that is shouts out to Kyle Bigelow. Yeah. Let me go ahead and pin that real quick. Mango. We just got to add an extra A, but that's amazing. That's so good. Yo, you better coin that. If you came up with that, you better coin that and try to get that copyright. Something. Anyway, y'all, I'm getting hype on this topic, but we got some more stuff to talk about. Ash, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to you.
Yeah, of course. And happy to also cover the comments, you guys. Thanks so much for your engagement. We're loving this thus far. So, Geekalicious, I love that name, says, which tech career pathways do you suggest for older workers or someone re entering the job market? That's a wonderful question. And we actually cover that in our AI Career Accelerator. So, if you're interested in different careers and roles that you can get into with the specialty of AI, then you can get to know your options there. But other than that, of course, the boot camps and starting with QA with the emphasis of AI is the right path to take. So those links should be down below. So definitely sign up to speak with a career coach and get started. But without further ado, you guys, most definitely let's go ahead and blow through these next topics, which are really exciting. Okay, so we're looking into, of course, considerations of ethics. Okay, we're going to need compliance and ethics when it comes to AI, or else it will be an inevitable dystopia. So, we're covering some things, starting off with how Google's initiative is flagging AI generated images. And so, we think, okay, like that's great, pretty simple, but nonetheless, it's great to be discussed because their newly launched feature essentially will flag AI generated images in its search results. So this is going to enhance transparency for all users. And essentially the initiative is going to be a part of a broader effort to combat misinformation by allowing users to trace the origins of manipulated content. So you've seen negative ways that, there's manipulated content where people use people's faces with sensitive topics, inappropriate things. So this is kind of giving more power back to creators. So as far as a business benefit, we're always going to cover that. So for you business owners out there, okay, companies can build trust with their audiences by ensuring transparency in their visual content and protecting against misinformation. So we want to make sure that nobody's going to take your face, steal it, and go on. We're also going to cover the implications on a government level as well, because there are new laws that are in place that are going to be able to protect you. And so in conclusion, we're looking at just really asking yourself these questions. So how could your business leverage the AI-driven transparency to strengthen customer trust? Also, how could this feature really impact different industries that rely heavily on digital media and content verification? So as content creators, start to think of different ways that you're able to protect your likeness and really gain that ownership over it, because that's key. All of these brands and businesses are really just taking your data. What we're going to cover next, you guys, I'm going to pass it back over to Cyrus. But just to give you a high level overview, we're going to be covering some interesting advanced robotics and also getting into government implications for ethics and compliance and owning your likeness. So without further ado, happy to answer any questions in the comment section. So feel free to continue to engage, and I'll pass it right back over to you, Cyrus.
I think why Austin, I'm curious, Austin, why you say fraud? I'm curious what he's referring to. So I think with a lot of this technology and robotics of what are coming out, it's going to be interesting to see how a lot of these different pieces of technology are going to affect like just our day-to-day lives in the future. Like what's going to become the norm at some point. It's like the same way it's not rare to see an Alexa in someone's home right now or a Google Voice. I'm about to close this up in a second, but the same way that's not rare, I wonder if in 5 years it won't be rare to see someone with like an actual, like, I mean, technically these things are robots we already have in our home. If you have one of those robots that vacuums and mops for you, mine is in storage right now because I'm traveling, but I have one of those. Those are technically robots, but having a robot that's powered by AI in the next 5 years, I wonder what that's going to truly look like. Like I wonder if that's going to become the norm and how we're going to use these different tools. The other thing that I wonder is if it's going to be a commonality in the market versus if everybody's going to have like their own variation. What I mean by that is it's like everybody, and I'm using the term everybody loosely, everyone has an Alexa in their phone or a Google Voice assistant. It's usually one or the other. I wonder if it's going to be like one or the other in terms of the types of robots we have in our home, or if it's going to be customized based on what individual people care about. So if there is a traditional household where the husband is the main breadwinner, he's able to cover all the bills, the wife usually stays at home, takes care of the kids, cooks, cleans. In that example, would they really care about having a robot that cooks or having a robot that does a lot of the cleaning? Or would they care instead to have a robot that maybe instead does something else? Will families, husbands and wives have, let's say they have a newborn or little children, maybe they would care more about a robot that's focus is on assisting the mother or assisting the parents when it comes to taking care of the children.
Right.
It's like it's interesting to think about if everyone's going to have, generally speaking, the same type of robots, or if it's all going to be variations and different types. I want to know from y'all in the comments, like who's not comfortable with having a robot in your home? Because I know there's some people that are saying that they're not going to have those things in their home. I mean, there's some people that say that they won't have an Alexa in their home because it's listening. And it's like, all right, well, are those people not going to want a robot? Because those robots are going to be listening too. So I don't know, but the thing, I'm going to be real, y'all. Speaking specifically on this news that Ash shared, this actually has corrected me in a major way. I remember late last year, maybe even early this year, I was telling someone why we don't really have to worry about robots. And my argument was that, well, robots can't move how humans move. It's like they can only move a certain way. And I didn't think it was possible, especially not in the near future. I thought it was going to take 10, 20 years before we started having robots that can actually duplicate or replicate human movement, where obviously we can like move our hands like this and we can move differently. We can be more fluid. But already I'm like, yo, I'm eating my words. So even though I'm a person that I believe, I've always believed technology was going to be able to do more than most people have. Like most people, oh, that'll never happen. I was like, no, I believe it will at some point. This is an example where I have to say, yo, I got to eat my words because I didn't think it would be able to happen. And this is like, I mean, when the robots are, I mean, right now, some of them are faster than us. Some of the new smaller robots are technically faster than us. And now with the last piece of news that Ash mentioned, they're able to repair themselves now. So I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Look, when especially we talk about either AGI or especially ASI, artificial super intelligence, when that happens, Elon Musk said something recently where he was talking about how we should not teach AI how to lie. Yeah. We should not allow it to lie because the implications of that, even like little white lies, are incredibly dead. We basically should program it to where it always needs to be truthful. Because you get AI that can lie and it's smarter than you, it's faster than you, it can repair itself. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I used to watch Terminator, I kind of sort of didn't understand how they were able to defeat us. Cause I'm like, come on. Yeah. Now it's like, yo, either we're about to have the most utopian future ever in 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, or it's really gonna be Terminator Armageddon. I'm not gonna lie. I'm down to see what happens. I'm down to see what happens. Either way, I'm like, yo, this is about to be interesting. Like Wu said earlier, it's like, yo, like I want to see where my role is in this movie that's about to play out.
Oh yeah. And fun fact as well. So, for example, speaking of the ambidextrous nature of human hands, so humans have degrees of freedom of 27, right? But the robots now, especially like Optimus, that's Elon Musk's robot that's coming out, it has 22 degrees of freedom. So it's catching up. All of them are catching up, becoming more advanced as possible. And what does that create? Essentially a new being. We know of humans, we know of mankind, but what if we've created robot kind? That is an inevitable future that we all have to consider.
Man, y'all are going in these comments. Austin says, my entire home is between two women, Alexa and Google. That's hilarious. He's out here. He got two women that don't like each other. They're each other's ops.
That's funny.
Wu says, I seen something about Diddy and an underground chamber thing on TikTok. I said this got to be AI generated. Yeah, a lot of people have been creating AI generated content with Diddy. Yo, this is honestly probably the worst time to ever get canceled, because now everyone can like come up with their own different version of AI that's saying something about you. It's just really crazy. Kyle says, I'm working on a deep learning pipeline and data visualization and analytics for tech roles. I have a site but can't comment it in chat, but it'll be cool if you could check it out. Yeah, Kyle, bro, if you could please on LinkedIn, if you could send that to me, send that to Ash, we definitely love to check that out. That sounds really cool. I love seeing y'all like working on really dope stuff. That's incredible. Also, I was saying that they can commit fraud with AI now. So in the wrong hands, it can hurt and harm, but compliance needs to be in place. That's true. I've been seeing a lot of people, not even old people, like people joke and say, oh, old people will be the ones to get tricked by AI. I'm seeing young people, normal people getting tricked by AI. I'm even having, when I see videos on Instagram now, I have to like try to figure out if it's AI or not. Like, and it's so weird. It's like, yo, I really have to look at somebody's lips and be like, are they really saying this or is this AI? And it's like, man, it's getting really trippy, y'all. Really, it's getting trippy. It's not that it's getting trippy. It's just happening so fast. It's happening too fast for us to really keep up with it. It's really strange. Austin says, I love it. I have the cleaning robots too. I got the cleaning robots. Robot cat filter or cat litter, robot cat litter.
Yeah.
I had to buy that cheap robot for my daughter, so I know I don't hook up to the internet in China. So I know it doesn't hook up to the internet in China. That's funny. We definitely will need a level of awareness and discernment, because nowadays people can't even tell the difference from social media videos prior to AI. So those that are lost don't know what's what. I don't even know how we're gonna truly be able to. It's like, how are we even really gonna know? Because even if, like, let's say on Instagram, these platforms have it on there now where you have to tell the platform if it's AI generated. How is the platform truly gonna know? Like, if you create something before it's on the platform and it's AI generated, and then you upload it, maybe the platform will have some type of way where they can test it and see if there's something in the code of the video or something. They can tell if it's AI. But the thing is, if someone could make something, it could be made with AI. And then they can, like, let's say they could change it from an MP4 to a MOV, or like you can switch something to where it almost overwrites the original code to where you're not even able to track the original code to see if it was AI or not. Those are my thoughts. I just don't even know how they're going to truly be able to track this. Austin, we are living in the beginning of the Jetsons TV show now. Yeah, either the beginning of the Jetsons or the beginning of the beginning of the Matrix or the beginning of Terminator. One or the other. Do you know any, or maybe all of it? You know what? We actually might live through all of it. All of it might happen. Wu says, Cyrus, my point exactly, bro. Geekalicious, that's such a cool name. Do you know any examples of people job stacking by working in more than one area of tech? Oh, I don't know that. And honestly, I personally wouldn't recommend that. I'm sure someone does that. I'm going to say the reason why I wouldn't recommend someone job stacking by working in different areas of tech is because, like, the way our brains are, it's like for instance, multitasking is actually not an efficient thing. And what I mean by that is like talking on the phone and ironing is one thing. Those are two different things. Ironing is like a brainless task. But when you're talking about shifting your brain from doing one thing to another, it actually slows down your productivity. A lot of tests have shown this. So when you got to think about it, it's easier to do the same job for 3 different companies than it is to shift your mind from doing a tech sales job to a QA job to a cybersecurity job. It's like the mental shift that you're making to do this other job. It slows down your productivity, but even more importantly, it actually stresses your brain out in a way that it doesn't like strengthen your brain. It just stresses your brain. So I wouldn't recommend. I mean, again, you can do it. It's just not something I would recommend. And again, I haven't seen anyone do it, but I'm sure it's possible. Yeah, good stuff. Austin, who he mentioned earlier, I'm not going to keep saying his full name, but Austin said earlier that he's job stacked before for 5 companies at the same time, and he said stay on the same area. So he literally just concurred with that. He's a senior cloud engineer, but he has worked on all clouds. So that being AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, GCP, Google Cloud Provider. Oh yeah, he literally just mentioned it below. AWS, GCP, and Azure, but the same cloud niche, exactly. So yeah, don't kill yourself trying to get to the bag. Great question, though, Geeko. That's a really cool question. Actually, I've never gotten that question before. That's super cool. Y'all, it's so much going on, y'all. So much going on. So look, y'all. Last piece of news that I have on here. Both of these are pretty short pieces of news. So we're gonna kind of like quickly get to both of these. Of course, as always, let me know what y'all think about this. Some of y'all already know about these things already. So we're gonna zip to both of these. All right, cool. So first piece of news takes us back to Apple. So Apple they halfway back out of OpenAI. So even though Apple is still in Apple or Apple AI, whatever they want to call it, even though that's using ChatGPT, Apple just backed out of another separate deal with OpenAI. So going in. So a few weeks back, it was reported that Apple was exploring investing in OpenAI, the company that makes ChatGPT, the GPT model, and the other popular generative AI products. Now, a new report from the Wall Street Journal claims that Apple has abandoned those plans partially. The article simply says Apple fell out of the talks to join the round. The round is expected to close in a week or so. That's the round we just talked about earlier. So, and it says it may raise as much as $6.5 billion, add an extra $100 million on top of that because they did $6.6 billion for the growing Silicon Valley company. Had Apple gone through with the move, it would have been a rare event, though not completely unprecedented, for Apple to invest in another company that size. Yeah, because usually what Apple does, which is similar to Amazon, they usually don't invest in a company. They usually buy a company. That's usually what they do. And if they invest in a company, they'll invest in a company usually to see how it does, and then they'll come in and buy the company. That's how they operate. And Apple is very similar. That's what a lot of these larger tech companies do now. They buy these other, that's like pretty much the norm in the industry, where they buy innovative industries and add it to their industry as if it's something they came up with, or add it to their company as if it's something that they came up with. That's what Meta did with WhatsApp. That's why Meta owns WhatsApp. That's what Meta did with Instagram. That's what all of these companies are telling. That's what Google did with, or not Google. That's what Alphabet, which owns Google, did with YouTube. Like Google or Alphabet didn't create YouTube. YouTube was already making a lot of money, and they came in and bought them. Same thing with Google. Google was already making money. It was already a business that Apple and Alphabet came in and bought them. So anyway, that being said, first piece of news we got to talk about, why would Apple back out of a deal? Because this clearly would have made Apple hundreds of billions, if not eventually over the next 20, 30, 50 years, trillions of dollars overall compounded over time. So one, we got to talk about why would Apple back out of this deal? And I'm going to be real with y'all. I barely have an opinion. I have some opinion, but I'm not really sure. So if anybody in the comments will know why Apple would be getting ready to invest in ChatGPT, back out of the deal, but they still are using the technology, it's like, that's a bit of a strange thing to me. The other piece of news, and this is something that everybody already knows about, we've been talking about, is the dock workers union. So the strike that's been happening, I haven't been there in the US, so I haven't seen the results of it. Let me know if y'all been feeling it, if it's affected anything there for y'all yet. But as we all know, the dock workers union, that they were on strike, and they were planning to just be on strike for a very long time, which everybody, I know y'all been hearing about it more than I have, because I just been here chilling. And I've been on social media like, what's going on in the US? Anyway, they're suspending the strike because they just came to a temporary agreement. They're suspending the strike until January 15th to allow time to negotiate the new contract. So we already know about the dock worker strike, so we're going to skip past that. Anyway, A person briefed on the agreement, so this agreement they just came to, said that the ports sweetened their wage offer from about 50% over 6 years to 62%. So the person who didn't want to be identified because the agreement is tentative, any wage increase would have to be approved by union members as a part of the ratification of a final contract. So long story short, they just came to a temporary deal or a tentative deal, not temporary, a tentative deal where they're going to get paid about 62% more than what they're currently getting paid. So for perspective, if you're working at a company, you're making $100,000. This is basically like you getting an increase to where now you'll be getting paid $162,000 a year. So they just got a huge increase. Again, it's tentative, but it's probably going to go through. They just got a huge increase. Now, but the reason why we're talking about this, because some people are like, yo, what does this have to do with tech and AI news? Goes down to this bottom part right here. The talks now turn to the automation of ports, which the union says will lead to fewer jobs and other sticking points. So this is really, their concern was twofold. Their concern was one, hey, we want to be paid more money because the market is getting crazy. Everybody wants to make more money right now. Everyone does. That's why I tell people get in a higher paying industry instead of being in an industry that doesn't pay you enough and you're begging that industry to pay you more. The other part of it is that the automation piece. They're like, yo, we don't want our stuff automated. We don't want this new technology. We don't want robotics. We don't want artificial intelligence to come in and replace a lot of us. I'm going to give my opinion, my unpopular opinion, which is going to make me sound like a Uncle Tom, capitalist, whatever. This is not smart for them to do. This only helps them in the very short term, but will hurt them significantly worse in the long term. Why? Because this deal is a potentially 6-year deal. In 6 years, 6 years from now, the backlash from this, the pendulum is going to swing so hard, where all of the investors and all of the owners, executives, those that own these businesses and those that are investors in these businesses, technically are going to lose a lot of money short term. And of course, it's going to fester in them with all of this news, with them, like the threat of them saying, oh, we're not going to work, whatever. Understand, 6 years from now, they're probably going to wipe all of their jobs out and everything is going to be in where it's going to be robot. That the technology 6 years from now isn't going to be just better. It's going to be like 5 times better than it is now. So any sense of in 6 years that they try to protest, it's almost like the writer's strike. And again, I understood the reason for the writer's strike, but it's almost like the writer's strike, where the writer's strike happened. It affected TV. It affected our TV shows and stuff. That's why a lot of the TV shows suck right now, because the writers weren't there. But in the midst of that strike, a deal was struck. But best believe now, literally the timing of it was horrible, because now because of AI and all this technology, in the next 2 or 3 years, we already see, literally we reported on it last week, there are a lot of these major corporations, like Paramount just struck a deal with an AI company. A lot of these other companies are about to strike deals with AI companies to where they're going to start replacing a lot of the people. The people who won't be getting replaced will be the people that know how to use this technology, or they own this technology, or they work at the companies that leverage this technology. So my heart, I get the heart behind people wanting to make more money, and I get the heart behind people not wanting automation to happen. But history has shown us, never in history have people ever stopped automation long term. It just doesn't happen. It saves money. It benefits the customer, because the customer usually gets a product that's cheaper. Usually they get a product that they get more of it. It's faster, usually more consistent, and it helps the business. When an innovation helps the business owner and the investors, and it helps the customer, the person working the job is the one that becomes irrelevant in the matter. So again, these are my thoughts on it. I understand the heart behind this. I'm happy for them for the temporary win, but long term, I hope they take this extra 62% plus and they invest it into the same technology that's about to replace them in the next few years. Hopefully they do that. Again, those are my thoughts on it. It's always, again, I could be wrong, I could be tripping, But I definitely want to know, like, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that this is something that's going to come back to bite them later? You know, do y'all celebrate this? Because you know, I'm not nothing wrong with celebrating this, but like, do y'all celebrate this? What do y'all think when it comes to this piece? So both this and the news with Apple not investing in AI, again, that's slightly less big news, but why do you think they're not investing their money into ChatGPT, which could make them multiple hundreds of billions of dollars? And what do you think about this whole port situation? Do you believe that they should just focus on the innovations of the future? Or do you believe that maybe they'll be able to continue to work these jobs even 10, 20 years from now? Ash, what are some of your immediate thoughts on this?
Yeah, so we'll start off with this particular article. I think that it's definitely a positive to be celebrated because they're trying to put the power back in the people's hands. And so that's a step in the right direction. I also think that it's important to be able to look ahead. And so, for example, there are other countries, particularly in Asia, where they are several years ahead. And so they are already leveraging automated transport, automated logistics. And so that's really enhancing their bottom line. And so they're getting ahead. And so at the end of the day, there's a race to who's going to be able to dominate in AI. And so obviously the US is trying its best to be able to keep up with that. But we're going to have these implications and integrations of artificial intelligence to make our systems better. Because if we're continuing on with broken systems, it's not going to work. And so as far as the collaboration between OpenAI, Apple, NVIDIA, et cetera, or why these companies wouldn't want to work together, I think that it all comes down to ownership and power. And so the brands are, they're interested in working together because there's positive synergies between the businesses. But OpenAI, they have the goal, obviously, to absolutely dominate. So they're not going to be taking anything that's going to allow them to fall to the wayside. So I think that when we're speaking on integrating OpenAI, for example, with a huge company like Apple, I mean, most of us are using Apple devices. I think that it's important to consider ethics up front and to be more hesitant to integrate all of these advanced technologies, because as soon as somebody on the back end decides, okay, well, you're just going to have access to all of our users' data and you can do whatever you want with that, then that's going to really, put everyone in circumstances that aren't necessarily constructive to our future. So yeah, that's I have some great comments here about the articles as well. So let's see. So future Dr. Unanu, he says, could someone reshare those links and references for the tools and solutions posted in the chat? We can definitely do that for you. And Ernest says, great, back at you. Access Ari says, historically, it comes back to bite. Sounds like they didn't negotiate for funding and training to upskill. Absolutely. That's going to be major. That's a wonderful point. Austin says, I think everyone is trying to create their own open AI. Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, he said it best. Austin definitely, hit the nail on the head there. And Nina says, you said it before, hop on the train or get left. She agrees with Cyrus. Hey, we all agree with Cyrus here. Absolutely. If you're not already getting into tech or learning how you can incorporate and leverage AI, then you're going to be behind. So if you're not already in the tech industry or already in the field, tap into that link, speak with a career specialist and really get on that path, because, the train's about to leave the station if it hasn't already left. And so you want to make sure that you're on that train to an accelerated future. But very, very well said, everyone, and well said, Cyrus, as well.
Yeah, this is good. The point that Access reset, I think is so important, y'all, and it should not go missed or overlooked. The last part, they said, sounds like they didn't negotiate, not the funding part. But I mean, the funding part is good too, but it sounds like they didn't negotiate for funding and training to skill up. Now, hopefully they did. Hopefully that's just news is not being shared. But I'm going to be real with y'all. That's honestly the most important thing they should do right now. They should say, hey, we instead of saying we don't want automation to happen, it would be a better perspective, a broader, a safer thing for them to do. You know what? we're hoping automation doesn't happen for the first time in history, or the first time there's not going to be a technology. We're hoping, okay, cool. But part of our compensation package, or part of something you're going to give us, is to pay for all of us to get education when it comes to robotics, AI, automation, whatever it is. And then it's up to the workers to make sure that they're actually studying, learning these different things. Again, it goes back to the Willy Wonka analogy that I used before. Not Willy Wonka, but the what is it? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Which one was the second one? The second one, the one with Johnny Depp. I think that one was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, the second one with Johnny Depp, I think, was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That analogy where the father, or not the father, his uncle lost his job to a robot. And then at the end of the movie, when they kind of had like the conclusion of everyone's story, you know, the conclusion always being nice and beautiful, they said, hey, the uncle ended up getting a better job. He got a job where now he repairs the robot that replaced him. And that's literally what it is today. It's like there are people that are saying, I don't want these robots to replace me. I don't want these robots to replace me. And it's like, if you know the robot is going to replace you, why not just get the skills to be the person that now manages or operates the robot? Because now you're in a smaller niche field with fewer people that can do your job. You'll be getting paid more. And guess what? Your job is 1,000 times more plush. Like, a lot of people don't know this. Longsharmans, which are a large amount of the people that are a part of these strikes, longsharmans get paid really good money. They're up there with a lot of tech workers in terms of their income. But no one talks about longsharmans in terms of like the dating market, in terms of the market of like you being like a guy that women want. It's like people talk about lawyers, doctors, engineers, tech workers. Those are the general industries that most people talk about, like, oh, that person is successful, generally speaking, where they could just say their title. If a man or woman says like, hey, I'm a longsharman, people are like, what the hell is that? It's like, what is that? And I don't say that to like disrespect them or disgrace them. It's just, it's a thing where most of the industries that people covet are industries where, one, you're paid a lot, but two, you're not like sweaty, greedy. It's not a job that's going to tear you down. You know, that's why if you're a medical doctor, even though they work a lot of hours, you know, if you are a lawyer, even though they work a lot of hours, if you're in tech, which doesn't work a lot of hours, either way, these are seen as professions that are very corporate-like and very, oh man, was I even sharing the screen, or did it just revert back to your screen? Okay, it just reverted back to your screen. I was like, what happened? I was like, anyway, so this is a huge opportunity for them. And I think this reflects how we think short term, where we want to keep doing what we're doing, but we want to be paid more for it, a lot more for it. And it's like, yo, if you just step outside of yourself and learn these other, you could be paid significantly more. They won't have to go to these dock places anymore. They could work from their home, be paid more money, work less hours, not be sweaty and dirty, not have to jump in a shower when they're done working. It's like, man, and again, this isn't just them. It's kind of reflective across the board. Let's get to some of these comments, then we'll switch over to the next piece of news that Ash has. This is the end of the second news that I had to share. So Austin says the robot is a tool. It will always need someone to update and manage. Let me actually click on this. Oh, wrong thing. The robot is a tool. It will always need someone to update and manage it. The robots need guidance. Exactly. And even to the point where eventually it is not generative, with AGI or ASI, it will always create new types of jobs. The name of the game is to look at what's happening to the market. It's just like an investor. You look at what's happening to the market. You can either invest your dollars to put your money into it, or you can invest your time to learn about it. So then you can like be able to leverage it work-wise for your business. Someone says real-time insights into the tech job market. Oh, cool. I like this. That's good stuff. Hazon.fyi. Also says AI is like a hammer. It won't build and or work itself. Yeah, for now it won't. For now it won't. Austin, step outside the box and keep making yourself valuable. Add more value to yourself. Yeah, these are all facts. All facts. Ash, what are I guess some of your final thoughts on this before we switch it back over to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great point because this is the reality of many different industries. So I like how they're really starting to try and, give people raises up front for their valuable time and skills. But, like you said, at the end of the day, long term, it's not really best for their own bottom lines. But nonetheless, we should always try and push for the people and also implement at firsthand ethical considerations when it comes down to AI. So this is a great point, Cyrus, and I'm glad that you really brought it up. And so we're going to be getting into, without further ado, continuing on with robotics, you guys. And so when I show you this, it's going to look a little crazy, but this is a robot with muscular structures. So imagine a future where instead of with mechanics, it's kind of robotic. Imagine we're going to have robots with muscles. All right. So feast your eyes upon the future. Here we go.
Now I got to worry about robots taking my girl.
All right, here it goes. Okay, so as you guys can see, basically considering the future of work and overcoming all physical limitations. So it's opening up the doors to developing a real-time walking artificial muscle robot. And so the founder of this is from Germany, and basically says if we combine the robotic leg in a quadruped robot or robot with two legs, then when it's battery powered, we can deploy it as a rescue robot. So that's one of the applications of these robots with muscles. But we have Optimus coming out where, it's going to be mechanical. So there are those limitations. But when we're applying just the structure of muscles, then the limitations of robots is going to be limitless. We're going to have robots like Cyrus said earlier that are faster than humans or, have more capabilities. And so you're not going to be able to outrun it, potentially. So let's look into the overall inside of this, you guys. So researchers, of course, as you already know and have heard, that they've developed this robotic leg that's powered by artificial muscles that mimics human movement. So this is really focusing on electro-hydraulic actuators that allow the robot to perform complex actions such as high jumps and navigating uneven terrain, which you saw the robot just hopping around, jumping over stuff. That's what it does best. And so as a business owner, okay, robotics companies and all other industries are truly reliant on mobility solutions. And so these solutions could be used in innovations to enhance automation and agility in all realistic real world situations, including logistics, healthcare, and industrial robotics. So these robots are truly going to be able to produce and execute tasks not only at the level of humans, but perhaps even better. So a few questions that you guys can walk away with. So first of all, what steps can your business take to comply with emerging AI safety regulations? Look ahead of that, okay? Safety, ethics, we should all prioritize that first and foremost. And second, how might AI safety frameworks improve trust in your AI-driven products? So, if you're obviously with QA engineering, with the AI focus as far as our boot camp, then we're looking at potentially building these systems. So that is a majorly valuable skill. So if you haven't already, definitely click that link and sign up, because that is going to be a major skill that's going to really propel you and accelerate your career. And so everything is getting really intense out here with this innovation. And so we're just gonna just really start off or end off strong, okay? As you guys have already seen and probably already know, California passed recently legislation requiring actors to give explicit consent before their digital likeness can be used in film or television via AI. So we're really bringing that power back to the people and ownership of over your likeness. So obviously the governor, and there's Gavin Newsom there signing that bill. So it is in place. And so if you are in the acting industry or if you know somebody in that industry, then that's a step forward, a major step forward. And so last but not least, of course, this particular bill requires explicit consent before any actor or actress's digital likeness can even be used. But it also ensures that actors or actresses maintain control over their digital representation. So power back to the people. As far as a business owner, your media company or being a content creator can really stay compliant by obtaining the necessary permissions or protecting themselves from legal issues and ensuring ethical use of AI generated content. So maybe if you're not in California, then maybe it's helpful to be speaking to your representatives and leaders, that we can really have this across the board so that people in any industry, because at the end of the day, right now, anybody could take your likeness and use it, but there definitely should be constraints over it. Obviously, California with Hollywood, the implications of it are a lot more necessary, but we're just going to leave you off with a few questions today. And the first is, how will this new law impact the use of AI in content creation for your business? So if you're in California right now and you're interested in solidifying that ownership, then what does that look like for you? Or could AI regulations and digital consent creation influence other industries that use or leverage virtual assets? Control and power is in our hands, you guys. And so what do you think, Cyrus?
It is interesting. I started thinking about, since this is a law that's getting passed specifically for California, there are other cities that are becoming popular hubs, or other cities that have become popular hubs for TV and movie. Like Atlanta is very popular to film movies in right now because Atlanta offers a lot of different tax cuts. Like Ant-Man 2. I remember I was in Atlanta and I saw them filming Ant-Man 2. The Walking Dead. There was one time years ago, was pretty crazy. I was literally watching a YouTube video while I was walking in downtown Atlanta. The YouTuber was talking about the upcoming season of The Walking Dead at the time, and he was showing images of the upcoming season. As he was showing the images and I'm walking downtown, I literally look to my left and I see the cars from the images, and I look up and see the trailers. I started freaking out. I was like, it was the trippiest moment ever. I'm like, yo, I'm literally watching a YouTube video about something, and in real person, and at the same time, I stumble upon the thing he's talking about. And so that, a lot of different shows and movies and stuff, as we know, are filmed in Atlanta. Same thing is for Vancouver and California. A lot of movies and TV shows are filmed out there. So it went from Hollywood being like the only place or the place to now these other cities and hubs are becoming popular as well. What I'm curious about is if this is only going to cause producers and executives to stop filming in Cali as much. Maybe not. And what I mean by this is, producers and executives, their number one goal is money. It's a business. The director's number one goal usually isn't money. They usually are an artist. They have an artist mindset. They want to create something beautiful. The actor sometimes is thinking more like an artist. But at the end of the day, everyone's thinking about what benefits them. What benefits the director, what benefits the actor is sometimes different than what benefits the producer, the executive. That's why sometimes a director like Zack Snyder can have a vision for the Justice League, and the executive said, no, we want it to be like this. The Justice League movie came out. People didn't like it, but then Zack Snyder said, well, yeah, the executives and producers made me change 80% of the movie. So that's what everyone said, release the Snyder cut. And of course, he eventually released his own version. So what I'm curious about with this is if this is only going to cause a split, because the actor, maybe the director, they might say, yeah, we don't want AI to be made in our likeness, or to control anything that's implemented within the movie, because obviously that means they're going to get less money or no money. But the producers and the executives, they probably have a different take on it, where they're like, yo, we're not going to want to film things in California if California tells us that we can only work with actors and actresses that are fine with us using their likeness, with leveraging AI, robotics, all types of technology. So I wonder what trickle of, because I don't want to make this political, but I think the writing is kind of on the wall as to where this is probably going to go. Y'all always know, like, Republicans and Democrats, they're always split. Whatever issue happens, they always have to disagree. I remember when COVID first hit, I literally said to myself, I was like, I wonder what take the Republicans are going to have and what take the Democrats are going to have on the topic. And it was like the first couple of weeks, nobody really had a side. It's like you could see the politicians trying to figure out what side they fell on or what they felt about it. And then eventually they came up with the side where Republicans were like, yeah, we're anti-vaccine and we are we don't think it's that big a deal. We think people can still be out in public and still enjoy themselves. And then, of course, Democrats are like, nope, we're for vaccine. You got to stay in the house, got to keep your distance, got to stay locked in at all times. And so it's funny how they always take a different angle. The same thing is going to happen when it comes to this stuff. My opinion is that, and again, I think Gavin Newsom, which, Gavin Newsom is kind of sort of drawing the line, saying, hey, we the Democrats are against AI, because it could potentially hurt actors. It could take away positions from them. Possibly many Republican leaders might have the opposite, where they're like, no, we want to support the business owners and allow the business owners to use whatever technology allows them to create more business and allows their business to thrive more. Again, these are my thoughts, my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I do think my prediction, y'all tell me if y'all agree or disagree. This is my prediction. My prediction is that actors are going to flood to Cali and flood to other places that are more actor employee friendly, like Cali is. Directors, producers, which they technically are the ones that control like a movie coming out and a movie being created, but directors, producers, film studios are probably going to flood to places like Georgia, since Georgia is a red state. Georgia is a little bit more for the employer and the business owner than for the employee. They're probably going to flood to those places. I think we're going to see a split, but overall, I think eventually the business owner is going to win, because especially in the field like acting, it's like if they have technology that technically can kind of replace an actor, I think they might win long term. Short term, I think the actors are going to win, but long term, I think the producers, the executives, they're probably going to be the ones to win. And overall, I think Tyler Perry going to win real good, because he was in Georgia. So
I love that. I think that's genius, actually, and a realistic trajectory.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the Detroit. So yeah, because I'm sure there's other cities that are really becoming more and more popular when it comes to filming. Because yeah, to film a movie in Cali costs so much money now. Like to have everything out there just costs a ridiculous amount of money. And also the way their taxes are towards the business owner, you're taxed so many different ways. See, a lot of these studios and companies are like, yo, they want to find other places. And these other states, especially a place like Detroit, where Detroit has been going through a huge renovation for, I think, like maybe the past decade or a little bit under a decade. I'm sure a place like Detroit has some amazing tax breaks for these movie studios and business owners. So I'm curious to see which route Detroit takes, or which stance Michigan takes on this topic. What else? Oh, y'all going in on this? What are you talking about, rapper? I should have been looking at the comments earlier. I try not to look at them while I'm talking, because y'all are so funny. It distracts me. It takes me off my point. But Wu says that's like everyone wants to be a rapper, but nobody wants to be an engineer or producer, even though they get paid more. Oh, you're talking about the last topic about the dock workers in Longstream. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, because rappers are more popular, but producers get paid more. We need to focus more on problem solving. And I know y'all seen the robotic strippers.
They have robotic strippers now? That's crazy.
Yeah, I actually saw that early this year or late last year. They came out those like early this year.
Oh my gosh, that's wow.
And they don't even, the thing is, I don't even think they look humanoid. I think they're literally like robots. Like, I think it's just the skin, like just the metallic skeleton of the robots.
Wow.
Yeah, but going back to one of the pieces of news you shared, where they're making the robots be more like human-like movement. Man, you add that, and then you give these robot women human skin, especially when we have AGI or ASI. Man, when I tell y'all the stripper industry is about to get messed up so bad, because now men are gonna be able to walk in the strip clubs, and now it's gonna be like normal human girl strippers are gonna be like having to over compete. Because now when the average stripper girl is gonna, whatever their prices are when they charge for a lap dance or something like that, or for a dance or to go in a room, whatever, it's like the strip club can have the robot girls cost like a quarter of the day. The strippers are about to get out competed by the robot. Yo, these next 5-10 years, this world is about to be, it's really going to be like a dystopia movie where it's about to be really crazy out here. Jocelyn, I want to transition into tech from a sales background. Where should I begin? Tech sales. The easiest transition for you to make is tech sales because you'll be able to leverage your transferable skills of being in sales. Now, sales and tech sales are not the exact same. And what I mean by that is the industry in general. First off, there's certain specific industry knowledge, certain tools and software that you'll need to use in tech sales that are pretty unique to tech sales versus traditional sales. And yeah, the third part is going back to what we were talking about earlier, leveraging AI when it comes to tech sales. And so yeah, so we have a tech sales bootcamp that's AI enhanced, that's able to teach you how to implement AI when it comes to sales. Now, if you have a deep sales background, you might not need a tech sales bootcamp because I'm really adamant on like everyone doesn't need a bootcamp. Most people need a bootcamp, but not everyone does. So if you have a very extensive sales background, I would say DM me either on LinkedIn or DM me on Instagram, preferably LinkedIn, because I could look at your LinkedIn profile so that way I could look at it and see if it would make sense for you to do a tech sales boot. I had a sales background, but I still did a tech sales bootcamp just to get perspective. But your background might be more extensive than mine. Mine was very, very short-lived. But either way, if you end up doing a tech sales bootcamp, make sure you use Ash's discount link. You can use it now to schedule a call with the team, or you could just message me later and remind me about this conversation. I'll give you the link then, so that way you can make sure you get a discount. You get a large discount. All right, Jocelyn, depends what you should like to do. There's cloud security. Yeah, if you want to do something else, you can, but you will be limited to not being able to leverage your transferable skills with you talking about your sales background. You know, because if you're interviewing for great roles, like he mentioned, cloud is great, cybersecurity is great, project management. But in those interviews, one of the questions you're going to be asked, if you get interviews, they'll ask you, what experience do you have in cloud? What experience do you have in cybersecurity? And so that's why with tech sales, it'll be easier because not only will you be able to say, yo, I have specific tech sales knowledge, but I have sales experience. So it'll make you a top candidate and make it easier for you to transition into the industry. All right, I would like to start in project management or the cloud. Yeah, so look, I'll tell you this, Jocelyn, if you want to do something else, you can literally still message me. I'm not going to tell you to do tech sales. If you want to transition to something else, there are definitely some different boot camps that I have already vetted that a lot of people, I have interviews on my page of people getting in the industry after doing those boot camps. So I would recommend you leverage your transferable skills because it'll be easier transition. Tech sales is one of the highest paying industries in tech, with some people making up to $500,000 or more. But you can make a lot of money either way in cloud, cybersecurity, all that stuff. So either way, it's kind of splitting hairs at the end of the day. I'm sorry to hear that, Jocelyn, about you getting laid off last week. Yeah, hit me up. I mean, hit up Austin too. Y'all already having a conversation here in the chat. Y'all can talk. That's cool. But definitely hit me up too if you want some supplemental assistance. Anyway, going back to the other comments. Oh, sorry about that. Now's the time to add value. Also, Cyrus, great. He knows a lot. Okay, cool. Austin literally just said all the stuff I said. I should have just scrolled through and read the rest. Anyway, Austin said 50 Cent is buying up all the Louisiana to build his own studio. Yeah, y'all see what's happening. And it's such a beautiful time for people like him because they're going to be able to leverage this new technology that's coming out to save a lot of money. What's the name? Going back to I was about to say Ty Tribbett. That's a singer. That's a gospel artist. What is the guy's name? Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. So we mentioned how everybody knows Tyler Perry has his own studio. Tyler Perry actually was about to build out another studio that was going to cost him something around like $200 million. He stopped because some people sat him down and showed him AI and all the stuff it's able to do. He literally had money on the table. The deal was on the table, was about to send the money, but some people, and this just happened a couple months ago, y'all can look this up. Even Tyler Perry stopped because he realized, oh, this is stupid for me to build this huge studio. And he was going to hire a lot of people, but he was like, dang, I'm not going to do it because I see what's coming with AI and tech and all this new technology. Yes, sir. Robotic strippers 24/7. Johnson says, Austin, thank you. I would appreciate some assistance. All right, good stuff. Anyway, Dominic says, "Hey, what's up, Dominic? Hey, y'all. Dominic is he's a really young guy, and I don't say that to be disrespectful, but really to highlight just how dope his story is. I believe Dominic. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Dominic is around 20 or 21 years old. He's in the cybersecurity industry, really killing it and crushing it. He was actually a guest at our Techpreneur Con that happened earlier this year. And yeah, Dominic is definitely doing some dope stuff. Kyle says, I'm gonna walk in there with the modules instead of singles. Oh,
RAM
what'd you say, Ash?
RAM modules, like an alternative way to like pay. Like,
I am dead. Go be telling the robot strippers, I can save you from this. I can take you away from all of this, girl. I can have you just, instead of you being a robot stripper, you deserve more respect. Come to my crib. You could be a robot cleaner. Instead, I take care of all the RAM modules you need. Also says Demolition Man is a movie y'all should look at. I'm in the club with a crypto wallet. Yo, y'all are going in on this. No problem, Jocelyn. Okay, thanks. Austin just posted the article I was just talking about with Tyler Perry, Hollywood Reporter, Business News, Tyler Perry. Y'all look that up, y'all. Because if a billionaire is about to spend hundreds of millions of dollars and he stops, because he's like, yeah, nah, that's pretty telling for what's probably about to come downhill or what already is coming downhill. Oh, Matthew in the community says, do you think it's important for a tech salesperson to have acquire technical skills in AI or robotics? Yeah, definitely. It's very important because again, there's a lot of new AI tools that are coming out or that are out now and that are getting enhanced when it comes specifically to tech sales. So that's why the tech sales program that we have, any program that I promote moving forward, or any program that Tech is the New Black has, it will have AI implemented into the program. It'll literally either be the foundation of the program, or it will be weaved into the program specific to that role in tech. Because it's not necessary in the market yet. It's attractive in the market right now, but it is getting more and more important. It's one of those things where in the next year at least, it's going to be common to see that on a job requirement. The same way y'all remember 10, 15 plus years ago, when you applied to a job, it would say you must be able to type 50 words per minute. But now you don't even see that on job requirements. The reason why is because it's actually the norm now for most people to be able to type at a certain rate of speed. The same thing is going to happen where in about the next year or so, it's going to become very common for it to say you must know how to know this or leverage this AI tool, or XYZ. But then eventually, probably in the next 20 years, it probably won't even be mentioned anymore. It'll be expected that like the newer generations are just going to know AI and understand how to leverage it for their roles. So again, you're going to be at a company and they're going to see you don't even know how to use that stuff in the next 2 years. You're going to look real crazy. You're going to be getting replaced by people half your age. I ain't trying to be that 45, 50-year-old man where I'm getting replaced by 20-year-olds. They know AI better than I do. Great question though, Matthew. I said, wait, Tyler Perry, a billionaire? Yeah, Tyler Perry's been a billionaire, I think, for 2 years now. He's like on paper billionaire. Like a lot of these people don't have $1 billion cash, but they're like paper billionaires. James, so that's where I'll get my Rosie the robot. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna get off this because I low-key thought at first I thought because I didn't look at your picture first. First I thought you were a girl, and I thought you were saying that's where you're gonna get your Rose robot. I was yo, we're going way off the hinges now. Can you job stack as a junior developer? Yeah, you can. Again, but that's more specific to the company and the workload they place on you. But yes, you can. It's usually easier to job stack when you are more senior level. If you're talking about being a developer, because I'm not gonna break it down right now because this isn't what we're talking about. But just hit me up later and I could kind of break it down for you, like how you can job stack easier when you're like mid to senior level. All right, good stuff, y'all. Look, y'all, while y'all got some time, we'll probably be on here for a few more minutes. What are some quick questions y'all have? I would even say, like, even specifically for Ash when it comes to questions centered around AI. So we could talk about a lot of new stuff, a lot of cool stuff. When it comes to like actually like asking more like hard hitting specific questions when it comes to AI, when it comes to AI in your business, AI in your career, Ash is definitely the person to talk to. So I would say take advantage of these next couple of minutes to be able to ask her at least a couple questions. But beyond that, for those of y'all that have more specific questions, more personal questions, or you have like specific scenarios, I definitely want to encourage for y'all to schedule time to talk with her using the link down below in the description. You can click that link and be able to book time with her to talk to her privately when it comes to that.
Absolutely. So, just to discuss the tools that we're providing you guys so that you're enabled to win. So, first and foremost, of course, that boot camp run, do not walk into the tech industry. So, definitely sign up if you're not already in tech just to get started with your career. But on the other end, as far as AI solutions that we can provide to your business or as a creator. So, let's start off on the business side. So, as Cyrus mentioned earlier, there is creators burnout. I mean, as content creators, we all feel that, but we have a program that essentially at a click of a button can do 30 plus days of content for you in your business. And this is not just regular content. This is high engaging content that is data driven, data backed to guarantee you that optimal engagement that you're going to be looking for. So one-click solutions, you guys, making content creation easier than ever. And so if you're interested in that, feel free, sign up for the link and let's get connected. Other than that, on the career side of things, you guys, so automation is key. And so we can automate your resume outsend process. So imagine up to 150 resumes being sent out per month. This is, the max that we're starting off with, but nonetheless, it's going to give you a massive competitive edge. And so not only are you going to be able to send out your resume 150 times to different companies, while you sit back and just relax and then have the interviews rolling in, AI is actually able to systematically properly optimize all responses. So all of these resumes, it takes a lot of time for online resume applications, but imagine if AI can just optimize a response for you. And so really sell your background and experiences. So it's taking it to the next level. I'm continually doing it myself just because I'm testing out the platform. And also we're looking for the latest and newest roles that are out there in tech. And so I literally receive responses all day. And one of the most interesting and most exciting opportunities and instances are when I'll literally receive, like, it'll be an application that requires a bunch of different questions, like what is your particular experience with this field, and getting into the details, something that will probably take about an hour. AI will literally send all of the answers and answer it as if you're guaranteed the interview, basically. And so it's just it's taking resume application process to the next level, taking your career acceleration to the next level. And so we're really offering you guys just first-hand opportunity to experience these, maximize your ROI with artificial intelligence. So we have some questions here. Lou TV says, how do you feel about beauty companies like Ulta, L'Oreal incorporating AI into their company? And what way would that benefit both consumers and the company? Okay, like beauty companies. So, for example, I think that the digitalization of beauty could be helpful. So, like, if you want to try out a different lipstick, if you could, try that out digitally, if they have like an app, I'm sure they already do. But there are different ways that they can incorporate and leverage artificial intelligence just to like enhance that process. Also, Austin says, are you able to create a trigger automation for that using like make.com or Zapier? Absolutely. You're able to integrate any automations, really. And these days they have integration platforms, so you can cross you can have cross-functional operational efficiencies with almost any platform. So what's fascinating is the future of content creation and the professional side of things. Like we were speaking on earlier, Cyrus was mentioning how he's excited about really creating that virtual twin. So instead of having to spend hours to create content, you know what I'm saying, at one click, your AI avatar can interact with your audience. But not only that, your AI avatar will also be able to speak for you. So let's say, for example, you have client calls. We have a lot of business owners out there. Cyrus, this is something new as well. So this is something that I tested. For one of our platforms that we leverage with AI. But essentially it can be integrated even into Zoom. So the future is coming now where you don't even have to physically be, necessarily interacting. We're getting to where it's like, super 10 out of 10 quality. But imagine you not even having to go to speak for a meeting. You can send your AI. You can send your AI avatar to take a meeting for you or to take client calls for you. Literally, getting as close as ever to being indistinguishable from reality. So like, it's just like, oh, okay, hey Ash, it's like, yeah, I'm AI Ash right now speaking to you guys. It's getting to that point. So super exciting, so much opportunity on the table. I think at the end of the day, what we're really looking at is taking advantage of all opportunities. So like I said, run, do not walk towards not only signing up for this boot camp, which is going to give you a major leg up, not only for the skills that you're going to need, because you're going to have that AI enhancement as well, but also you're going to gain the network, which is key. In the tech industry, network is everything. It's a lot about who you know. So we're going to give you all the tools that you need to succeed. So if you haven't already, most definitely take that step, because like I said, the train is about to leave. And so the future is now. And Austin, Woo TV, everybody has given really great engagement. So I just want to thank you guys for being here today. And so Austin says the AI is you within an interview. Yeah, pretty much. Like you can that's actually an interesting point. Like, could you even like send your AI avatar to interview? We're getting there. And like the technology is absolutely like mind blowing. So most definitely, you guys, think of ways that you can integrate, leverage AI, and take those steps to start in your career today. Don't wait, because, as we can already see, everything's accelerating.
It's something I want to add for your question, Woo, was how would it benefit consumers? So this is theoretical, what I'm about to say. This isn't like based on my research, but these are just theories that they could actually do. Is just like the point that Ash mentioned, where they could maybe be able to use your phone to get a version to see what the lipstick will look like on you. I mean, one of the other things we can think about is how if they add these things into their store, like when you go inside of a Ulta, or you go inside of a Mac or any of these stores, and you see where the girls will usually look in the mirror, and then they'll like test out certain lipstick on them. It's like they'll test out the lipstick, or they'll test out a foundation on their skin. They'll do things to test stuff out, which is cool. It's great for them to do, but that does cost these companies a certain amount of money, just for them to even like give away their product for people to test it out within the stores. One of the things that I'm sure that they're already thinking about, if they're not already planning on implementing on their roadmap, is having it to where a girl will be able to go up to a screen and it can like scan their face, and the AI will be able to determine based on their pigmentation, hey, this is the specific product that we say is best for you and best for your skin tone. So instead of them even having to give up product and lose money just for people to test out different shades, let's say it takes the average person 3 to 4 times to test out shades. Like I had I throw myself under the bus. I had a girl put a hickey on my neck one time. As a grown man, I was not happy about it. I was livid. I was like, bro, I'm going to speak at this tech event, and you put a hickey on my neck. Got me looking like a little boy. I'm about to be walking around this conference with 2 or 3 hickeys on my neck. So I went to the beauty supply store, and I was like, yo, I need to figure out which foundation or which concealer can like cover this up. So I had to test out like 3 or 4 concealers. And I remember thinking, I was like, man, I wish there was just a way that something could just tell me what is my specific tone. And that's something that AI will be able to do, where it'll be able to like scan you. And I think about like our skin tones change, throughout the seasons. And it's like for the AI to be able to scan you and to say, hey, this is the color that's specific. This is the concealer or the foundation that's specific to your skin. That's something that will save the customer a lot of time, and it'll save the company a lot of money, because now they don't have to like give up so much of their product. It also will save time and foot traffic, and it'll help with the flow inside of the stores, because now it cuts down the time between a person having to test out 3 or 4 different variations of a product, to where now they can go in, be scanned, know what works for them, or maybe they can even scan themselves from their camera on their phone, and the AI will be able to do that. And now they're able to just walk into the store and know what product they need, or they could order it from online. Either way, there's a lot of different ways. And again, I'm theorizing all of this. So you have to imagine that the executives and the teams that are a part of this, the product team, that being the product manager and other people that are over that they're literally in this business, and they know about the pain points of their customers 1,000 times better than I do. I'm sure they got 1,000 things on the board. That's how they plan on leveraging artificial intelligence with this stuff. Top Secret says Fenty already has this on their website. Yeah, look at that. They already ahead of the curve. Yeah, I'm not in the beauty industry, so don't come to me asking me like what's the latest and greatest AI in the beauty industry. But that's cool though. Steve says AI helps me understand coding. Oh yeah, so going back to a comment I saw earlier, someone asked QA earlier. Yeah, Kurt says, should I go into QA or coding? So I would say QA, a fully comprehensive QA program. The reason why I say that is because a fully comprehensive QA program involves coding. So like our QA program, you literally become a proficient engineer. So it's literally QA engineering. So you learn QA analyst, QA testing, QA automation, QA engineering, all of that. So yes, you'll learn being an engineer. But if you're just coding, like just learning a coding language, that's more of a foundational skill. No matter what you're doing, whether you're cloud engineer, like no matter what it is you're doing, even in cybersecurity, like specific roles in cybersecurity, knowing how to code is not something necessarily to get a job or to get a career. The question is, okay, what can you code and what do you have paired along with that? That's where the industry is at now. Because just knowing how to code, AI can code, like, but it can't do the other stuff on top of that, at least not yet. So you always want to add that. So I would say QA over coding, because a quality QA program that has everything exhausted within QA is going to involve coding as well within the program.
Yes. Great point here.
Good. So yeah, y'all were on fire today. Love the comments. Y'all gave some good feedback, some hilarious feedback. Wu said you just gave them an idea, because I didn't think of anything. It sounds like they already doing it. I don't think I'm gonna come with any brilliant idea that these companies aren't already thinking about. They probably thought about this stuff a year ago. It's just on their roadmap and they haven't released it yet. So that's one of the things y'all know that happens, that these companies have ideas and it's so far down the roadmap, it just takes them a while before they release it. And again, their engineers are working on it, so it probably could pop up next week, but they've been working on it for 9 months.
Yeah. Go Elliot.
You dropping gems by mistake. You win another level. I appreciate that. Elliot, I have a call next Tuesday at noon about the QA course. That's super dope. Super dope. Austin says learn Python first. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, Python is like arguably the most popular language. I know it's between Python and maybe JavaScript, maybe.
Yeah.
I think Python is probably the most popular based on from what I see.
For sure.
Steve Reichart says the QA program will make you understand Java and all other functions. If you're not in it yet, you're missing out.
Love that.
Thanks for that, Steve. Learn, create, and scale. Love it, love it. Hey, y'all, look, this has been a beautiful tech and AI news. The most beautiful part about it is y'all's engagement, y'all's comments. This is really a lot of fun. We love doing this, love keeping us all up to date as to what's happening in the market. Y'all, so make sure y'all are tuning in next Saturday. We're going to be back here, same time, going over tech and AI news. I have to check because I'm supposed to be speaking at a tech conference next week. I have to make sure that I'm not lying. But just be looking out. We'll alert y'all if we're going to be doing the tech and AI news next Saturday. Or maybe if Ash is still available. If I'm not available because I'm at the conference, we'll see if one of you or one of the team members with Tech is New Black wants to jump in to make sure we're still covering the tech and AI news. Other than that, y'all, everybody that's interested in either AI consultation for your career or your business, check the link down below. Or if you're interested in getting a tech career that is implementing AI within the role, check out our the discount link that we have below for our tech bootcamp. Other than that, y'all be blessed. Have a blessed and beautiful weekend. Keep learning, keep elevating, so that way we can all reach greater heights together. Love y'all.